So today's video, you probably already saw the thumbnail, but we are on the Freego F3 Pro. And I'm definitely trying to get used to how this thing feels again, because we have a big motor up front, we got a motor in the back, we got 2 batteries as well, 40 amp hours. The bike is definitely heavy in the front, so you really got to get used to how it feels while you're riding. You definitely have to get your weight balance correct. It just feels very odd compared to a lot of e-bikes out there. And also the front has a little bit of a shake to it. You guys can probably see my hands kind of welling back and forth right now. I feel like I need to deflate the tire and reinflate it because I think it's not lined up correctly all the way around the bead, and that's what's causing the issue. But I like this bike actually. It's definitely a heavy one for sure, but it definitely has some very, very good power. And if you guys didn't see my video review, like I always do on these rides going to work, I pull over and I'll show you the bike so you guys can get a better look at it. We'll kind of talk about it for a second. So here is the Freego F3. I did put a extra light up here. Tonight's video, we're gonna basically be testing out this headlight and seeing how it is. I don't think I tightened that bracket good enough, so hopefully that doesn't like bounce up and down. But we're definitely gonna use this other headlight as well. I just wanna see how the main headlight's gonna look. And then we also have a light in the back that should be a working brake light. So we're also gonna see how this is. But the only thing I don't like about mine, and I'm thinking now that it got bent. Look at how mine is. So look at that. Oh yeah, my bracket got bent. So that didn't have anything to do with the bike itself. When I got it, I actually thought it was like angled down, but okay, it just got bent in shipment, that's all it was. But we got fenders, big fat tires, battery right there, battery right there. They're both connected together. They both run down together. And you do not have any gears on this bike. You probably already noticed we have a turbo button right here. So this button right here turns the front motor off, and it only uses the rear motor. So there's no way of putting the front motor on only. It either uses the back at all times, or you could turn on the front one if you want. You're really gonna get a lot of good range out of this bike if you just use the rear, the rear motor. And you're definitely not gonna pill out as much. But I want all the power possible. If you're gonna be buying this bike for yourself or whoever, you're definitely buying it for the power. You're not buying it to just use one motor. But if you definitely have like a long trip that you have to do, then yeah, you could definitely kind of limit yourself a little bit so you get more range out of it, and then you go have fun whenever you get to your destination or something. I do that all the time. I did it on my other video, my Super 73, when we went to the Tesla dealership. I just went really slow just to make sure I saved my battery and whatnot, and then I hauled ass on the way home. Sometimes you have to do that. But you're definitely gonna be getting a shit ton of range, excuse my language, out of this bike. I believe the website says 75 miles of range if you are on like pedal assist 5 and maybe using just the rear motor only. If you use both motors while max speed with throttle only, no pedaling, which pedaling isn't gonna do anything anyways, you're looking at about 40 miles of range. That sounds about right, because most e-bikes, every mile you go, you get roughly like 1 mile per amp hour. That's how it works. Sometimes you get a little bit over that. I wouldn't be surprised if you get about 45 miles of range out of this thing. But this bike also goes really fast. That's normally bikes that do about 30 miles an hour. So this is one that's 38 roughly that I've noticed on my video review. It's definitely faster than your average e-bike, so the battery is gonna drain a little bit faster. But just kind of keep in mind that it's roughly 1 mile per amp hour. So we got 40 amp hours in here in total. That's gonna give us 40, maybe 45 miles of range. Check this out. This is where this thing comes into handy. Let's pass all these cars. Screw you ICE vehicles. Oh, come on. Why are people turning in front of people? It's stupid. One thing about this bike is highly don't suggest taking your hands off of these handlebars. It almost feels like a scooter in a way because there's so much weight in the front. You put one hand off and, well, I'm having a little issue with my tire, and that's not the company's fault. I think it's just the way it got aired up. But I can definitely feel that it feels a little not connected to the road very well, where it feels like unstable. So I would definitely be very careful when letting one hand off of the bike. If you don't want the bike to pill out, look how smooth and nice that was. I got both motors connected. It didn't pill out. It's a lot better than the Aerial Rider Grizzly, I'll tell you that. The Aerial Rider Grizzly is either you're on the throttle or you're off the throttle. But I will say you gotta be kind of careful because There is a little tiny bit of a window on here. It's not as gradual, 0 to 100. It's not like, oh, 10% throttle is 10% throttle. It's kind of like you do 20% throttle, nothing's really happening, and then in between like 30 to 40% window of like pulling the throttle, that's where you have your movement of 0 to like 100%. This isn't looking too hot right now. I have a feeling that I am going to have to backtrack because I definitely see trucks in the way. So if they're like paving some like cement or something like that, we're probably not going to be able to make it through. So we'll just see. Hopefully we can though, because I would really like to try to like go through this way. That's the plan anyway. Yeah, all right, I'm going to go through. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right, that's one way to get through. I did not want to have to like go all the way around. That would have sucked. All right, so now we're good. That would have took an extra like 10 minutes to go all the way around. I'm not kidding. I would have had to go really far around that. Trying to be respectful, didn't want to tear it up. I should have put it in a single motor just so we didn't like peel out anywhere, but I was kind of trying to be easy on the throttle. I'm getting used to it a little bit. But I want all the power, baby. All the power possible. And seriously, make sure you guys stick around to the end when we get to the night footage so you guys can definitely see how these headlights and everything look at night. I'm curious to see myself. If I'm not mistaken, this is the same headlight that was on the F2 Pro, which only had the single motor. And I'm gonna hands down say that that is actually a fantastic bike as well. I don't have any complaints with that bike. It's decently fast. But the only thing is like this one is definitely gonna take off a lot faster. Now this is something I do want to get off my chest. And it's a simple fact that I have to say Rumble Motors did it better than this company. But Rumble Motors also charges, is it $3,400 for their dual motor e-bike. And you do get 40 amp hours of range as well. So you're getting basically the same. You get 1,000 watt motors front and back. It honestly feels the same. But the Rumble Motors feels more well built and put together, while this one feels more cheap. That makes sense. But you can't go wrong with the price of this bike, especially that you guys don't even know this yet. I have a $200 off coupon for this bike only. Now, if you want to get the F2 or you want to get any other Freego bike in their lineup, you can use code MrCentralDriver. God. I'm all sidetracked right now. So code MrCentralDriver for any of the Freego bikes on their website. But if you want $200 off of this one, it's MrCentralDriver 200. It's all one word. Real quick, to cut my own self off. 30 miles an hour coming up this hill, or this overpass, I should say. We're doing pretty good. Yeah, one thing you definitely got to be careful on, I've noticed when turning, is I don't want the front wheel to slip out. Like when you're going faster, it's okay, but when you're going slower and going around a turn, you definitely have to be careful about that front wheel like spinning out and then like throwing you down, because it just kind of goes all over the place, and then you're going one direction, the tire's sliding and going the other direction, and you fall on your face. I don't want that to happen, so definitely be careful when going around turns, like sharp turns anyway, on a slow mile per hour. Yep, I'm going through it still. I'm gonna pedal. Don't worry, guys. I looked at the traffic, there was one car coming, but I was like, hey, I'm just gonna hurry up and go through because no cars are behind me. I was gonna have to get on the sidewalk, hit the button for the crosswalk. I ain't gonna do all that right now. I am a little sad we can't take this road anymore. It's not fully open yet, but once it's open, ooh, birds, squirrels, holy crap. It's blocked off, but people are taking it because it's made for the other street and it kind of loops and comes in here halfway. You're gonna see traffic next to on the left-hand side. But that means I can't, that branch hit me. I can't take a bike on there because traffic does like 50 miles an hour. You see them all up here turning? That sucks. That's where we took the Extreme Bull K6. Now I'm still gonna probably take this Extreme Bull K6 over there, which probably the next vehicle I'm gonna take on a video, unless I have some other stuff to do after this, because I love that thing. I just saw that Freshly Charged also did a video on it as well, and they were having a blast with it. I've obviously had a blast on that. It's so fun. That is one of the coolest PEVs I've ever had. I'm glad they're finally getting to test it out. And I did not get a flag for it. So a lot of people are saying like, put a flag on it, put a flag on it. I need to even see if I have that little clip where the flag would actually go. But I wonder if the injured didn't see it in the box and like threw it away or used it for something else, because he has a go-kart that he's building as well, so maybe he used it for that, I don't know. I'm not too mad about it. I could probably always buy one. And what's this Target shopping cart doing out here? I thought those had the locking wheels. What's going on? Oh, what the heck? Is this completely blocked off? Bruh. Bruh. Okay. That's awesome. That's great. Woo. I guess I could have just rode on it anyway, but I would have had to move the tape, but that guy was there, so it's not his fault, but that's the end of the trail, and I'm like, wait a minute. No sign, no nothing, letting people know that, hey, the end of the trail is a dead end because they're putting some cement down or whatever they're doing. Oh, man. It's kind of messed up, but at least I was able to go off the side. If they were doing that whole sidewalk and I wouldn't have been able to get around, I would have been kind of pissed, to be honest. Because I would have had to backtrack and go on the street that I just said that I couldn't ride on because people do 50 miles an hour, but that would have been my only way. But anyways, here's how Caliber Collision looks. You guys can see them. They're all out here. They're hustling and doing all that today. It looks like a busy day over there. I'm hoping it's not busy at my work. I am not trying to deal with it today. I just had 3 days off. We got some videos done. We got the Apollo scooter, which, oh my God, that thing is fantastic. You guys are gonna love when I start doing videos on that. It's so comfortable. Now, it's not far like fast or anything like that. It doesn't have that much torque, but it definitely has just enough speed and torque to kind of get you around town, and it is smooth. That's what I like about it. The guy's on a little Jetson. I don't know why people buy those. I'm not trying to be like rude. I understand people have like how much money they spend and whatnot. I totally get that. I'm not saying nothing about it, but those bikes are just bad. I don't know. I think they're just overpriced for what you get. You know, another thing too you guys got to think about is if you even like the color of this bike. I kind of recommend the bike. I have an issue with my front setup. I think we're talking about something was broke in shipment. I'm not going to let that affect my review, but you got to get over this color. The green's weird.
You got no front end.
Nice. That's what I wanted to hear as soon as I got here. I mean, I'm glad I have the information now, but that's lovely. See you, Brett. I didn't bring the keys.
Drive safe. Ooh, I'm telling Virgil.
Is that Mark still on the floor? Oh yeah, look, the little baby one. It's a little faint, but it's still there. Yeah, these things are fun. Wait, I gotta figure out how to turn the light on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, whoa. That is way out there.
Way bright.
I mean, it's, you think it's...
I guess just because it was up so much, I thought it was like...
It's not bad in the middle, it's just not wide. It looks like it's right directly center, like...
Although I guess if they expect you to be like in the bike lane, that's...
True.
Yeah.
It's just, I really like wide lights because then you can see on the shoulder as well. You never know, man. There could be a branch you don't see.
Oh, not only that, people just fucking walking along the side of the road.
Yeah. All right, so what you've all been waiting for, I do have... What?
Do you have the keys?
No, the keys are sitting on check stand 1.
Oh, check stand 1.
All right, so what you guys have been waiting for, I'll pull over here on the trail as well and show you, but leaving work where you have a little bit of light around here, it's not too bad. The headlight actually doesn't look that bad. We were checking it out real quick, and it looks very bright. It's just very centered. So it reminds me of the Sur-Ron light or the, was it the Extreme Bull K6 light, where it's just directly straight, but it does look pretty bright. We also have a brake light, an actual brake light this time. So if you guys can see that, we'll test it out on a pitch black area. And I do have my horn just in case some people want to get crazy. Move out the way. So to turn the headlights on, there's this little side button that I noticed that you got to hit. I do not know what this top button does. Oh, okay, this top button does your mileage, odometer, max, average. Okay, I guess I'll just leave it on the trip.
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
This is why I'm turning you off. Hold on, I saw this coming. One thing that you guys don't know is that I never charged this bike when I did my video review. So like, well, I charged it before my video review. But then when I started doing this trip, I was like, why am I gonna charge this bike? It has 2 batteries, 40 amp hours. I don't need to charge it going to work. So in total, we have 15.6 miles on this bike. I'll probably end up a little bit over 20. We got another 6 miles to go roughly. That'll give you a good estimate on how the battery system is. Now there is no voltage, which would be nice. It's all just battery bars and they're very, very tiny like on the screen, so it's hard to see. But so far we haven't went down any, which is absolutely insane. Another thing you guys are gonna like on this bike is look at the stock display. Look how it has like the road, it has a little blue little checker lines. That looks pretty cool. And you might be able to tell right now by how the headlight's bouncing back and forth. I already told you my tire was not seated properly when it was aired up, so I'm getting a little bit of vibration, but I wasn't mad about it in my video review. I wasn't like harping on it too much because it's not the bike company's fault. Definitely the front is very, very heavy. That's probably why it's throwing it off a little bit off balance. But it's just something I'm dealing with for right now. But yours shouldn't be like that. Just definitely check when you air your tires up and you should be all right. All right, can we go this way? Yes. Why did they block this off earlier? It's still not done. It is the softest, whatever type of roadway they put. Man, that is jacked. Okay, so we are on the trail where you guys can check out all these lights. And there's someone here, so we'll go down a little bit farther and then I'll stop. That lady had her, maybe this headlight's bright because she was like this. She had her hand in front of her face. That's pretty funny. All right, so let me pull over here in front of these lights, or in between these lights, I should say. I don't want to be directly under them. All right, so I don't have the aftermarket light on. This is legit from the company. This is the headlight they put on here. And you know what? I know I was saying some bad stuff about it in front of my work, but it actually is pretty decently wide for what you need. I'm not complaining anymore on this headlight. But real quick, this is how it looks in a pitch black area. You can definitely see how dark it is over here. I am not brightening anything up. You might be able to see something glowing because that's my helmet lights. But let me turn the bike back on. And let me turn the lights on. And there you go. That's how bright it is to light up this trail. And this is how the brake light looks as well. So you guys get an idea of that. Let me put this kickstand down and kind of walk away. Now this brake light will obviously get brighter. Obviously I was just showing you that. The lights underneath the bottom are what get brighter. And stepping away from it, it's not too bad. It's not the brightest brake light, but the fact that it lights up when you do hit it, that's super nice. So people are definitely gonna know what you're doing on the road, stopping and whatnot. So they kind of get an idea of, okay, I gotta watch out for this guy, he's slowing down or whatnot. So I love the fact that they include that, and I'm not really mad about this headlight. So real quick, this is the factory headlight, obviously. Let me turn that off and I will turn on my aftermarket one and you guys can get the difference. So this is I think it's $45 on Amazon if I'm not mistaken. If I forget to put the link down in the description, because sometimes I really forget, definitely message me, drop a comment actually, and I'll put a link to this. But this is a fantastic headlight. If we combine both of them together, this is the output that we get. The stock headlight actually looks like it goes like farther up and down compared to this one. This is more directional, so it's like way down here, or it's kind of in the middle, or you're just gonna have it way up there. I'm noticing that the stock light kind of gets more of a spread. Even though you angle it to where you need it, it still kind of goes long ways. So that's pretty cool. Let's just turn this aftermarket one off for a while. So let's just stay on the stock light for now. And let's just ride for it a little bit, and then I'll turn the aftermarket one on so you guys can see the trail a little bit better and the video. Because I notice on my night riding footage, sometimes it's really hard to see. There's a lot of grain and noise in my videos because some parts are just really bad. Like right here, after this light, it's gonna get pitch black. The only thing you're gonna be able to see is whatever this headlight will put out. But not bad, Freego, not bad. I'm definitely not complaining about this headlight at all. Just gotta fix that bumpy ass tire, man. Look at this. Look at this. Man, I'm still debating if we're gonna do a third video on this or not. By the time this video comes out, realistically, I don't know if I will have the bike. But still, if you guys want me to do a third video, drop a comment. And if I still have it and I get enough comments, I'll definitely make a third video. I just don't know at the time when this video goes out if someone's gonna buy it by then, or if I'll even have it for sale or what. 'Cause I actually do like the bike. I want to keep riding it just a little bit longer. Go, 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 go. Why do people freak out, man, when they see people on a bike? I know I got a headlight, so they're like, is this guy on a dirt bike, a motorcycle? What's he on? Because I do have a motorcycle helmet on. Man, people just lose it. Especially when I sit there and I'm like, go, man, go. Anyways, I noticed that I'm going a little bit slower on this bike than I did on my video review. And I don't think that has anything to do with the battery on here, nothing. Like, we're really not down too much on range. Well, I guess that's a deciding factor a little tiny bit on this bike, but I think what it mostly is I have my backpack on and I have a lot of stuff in my backpack. I probably got 10 pounds in my backpack on top of my weight, and we're down a little bit of battery, so that kind of makes sense now that I think about it. But not too bad still. I can deal with like 34, 35 miles an hour. That's just something you gotta keep in mind when you get one of these bikes. You're like, oh yeah, 38 miles an hour, this thing's hella fast. Then as you go down voltage on the battery and stuff like that, you're gonna get slower and slower speeds. Like, I can see this bike doing barely 28 miles an hour, or roughly like right under 30 once you go really low on the battery, maybe like the last 20% or something like that. I can see that because the voltage tag is gonna be really bad. I'm really digging this display though. Like, the display is cool at night. I love seeing the little road. It reminds me of when you do like GPS in a car, like on a Tesla or something, and it has a little rainbow road. It's kind of cool. I like the fact that it does it. I'm wondering if I slow down, if the lines go slower. It doesn't look like it. It looks like the lines do still just keep going hella fast. Maybe if I put it down on a lower pedal assist, they'll go slower. No, they don't. That would have been cool if they would have had the animation to kind of go off the speed of your bike, so the lines would have got like slower going down. That would have been super, super cool. But they don't, unfortunately. Oh, California stop. California stop. Doing the same thing. Same thing out here. Everyone's just walking around with their shirt off, just chilling. I mean, it's nice out, I gotta admit. Like, not having sleeves on right now and being able to feel the breeze like go through my shirt right now, man, it feels so good. Can't lie, guys, can't lie. Okay, I know I told you guys probably not to let your hands off the bike, so I definitely got to be careful because this road has a little bit of bumps, but I meant to turn on my AC unit in my room before I went home, so I want to get that started so my room's like super nice and cold. Ah! It is on. I love that stuff. I love my purifier. I love my AC unit in my room. I love the fact that you can just do them wherever you're at. As long as it's connected to your Wi-Fi, like somewhere in your room, you can just go on your phone and just turn it on and it's just on. I love that. I could be in Vegas or Florida and turn it on. Super cool. I love the fact that you can do that with like all this like electronic stuff. It's so super cool. I don't know. And the fact that I know I was telling you guys I was gonna get a Tesla, and I pretty much already did. I love the fact that you can just turn on stuff from your phone wherever you're at, man. Like, and you can see where the car's at, especially like if you have your wife, you need to see where she's at or whatever, or your wife wants to see where you're at. That's kind of cool. Maybe a lot of you guys are like, nah, I don't like that. I don't want them to see where I'm at. That'd be cool if bikes integrated into their software, where you can see exactly where the bike's at. Maybe there's a bike out there that does that. I don't know. Woo! To see where it's at, not just the trail or like the GPS that you like rode, but actually see it like if you're away from it. That'd be kind of cool. I don't think you can though, because all bikes turn off. So there's no way it's gonna stay on. I heard a dog. Let's get the hell out of here. So I'm curious to know how many of you guys are thinking about maybe ordering this bike, or maybe you already bought a bike and you can't like get this one now because you already spent your money on something else. But how many of you guys were really like interested in this bike when like either Shreddy McSkate did the video, or I think Tell Happy TV did his video review on it. I like his videos, by the way. I like how he does his intros and everything. I like how he does his unboxings and hits his TV and breaks it. I mean, I think it was already a broken TV, but the fact that he just slams stuff into it is kind of funny. I feel like my intros are pretty boring, but I do get into the facts of the bike and testing it out. You know, I'm real thorough on doing the same test on every single bike, so I know you guys appreciate that. Ooh. I took that corner a little hot. I saw like 5 people standing outside over by that truck towing those cars. I'm like, I ain't sticking around, but definitely I went a little too fast for these tires. it stuck, but I feel like if I was going another 2 or 3 miles an hour, I think it would have slid just a little tiny bit. All right, look, this is what's cool about e-bikes. So look, it's green. Oh, what the heck? You're over the line, buddy. What's up with that? So check this out. Now we can go this way. There should be no one behind me, even though I do see lights. We're gonna make this green light. What's gonna happen is they're gonna get this red light, trust me. So they're gonna get a green light over there to go through the light, then they're gonna get that red light. One good thing about having a bike, especially a fast one, you can see a light and be like, I'll make that. You know what I'm saying? You're on a slower bike, you're like, I'm not gonna make that. I really like this bike. It's just, don't get this bike if you gotta like go upstairs and all that kind of stuff, because it is just too heavy of a bike. If you really have to transport this like in a car, even a small like bike rack that you have on your car, this is not gonna hold the weight. It's just too heavy. The box, when it shipped out to my house, was 139 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. So keep in mind, this is a very heavy bike. I would definitely not get this if you have to move it around a lot. But if you have a garage like mine where you can just park it or whatever, you have a little storage unit, wherever you can put it at, 100%, this is a fantastic bike, especially for the price. If you want a little bit more quality, go with the Runnells Motors Apex e-bike. The only reason why I'd say to go that one is because it just feels more premium, this bike, but it also is way more expensive. I have a $200 code for this bike, which is gonna make it roughly, if I'm not mistaken, like $2,500. The Apex is $3,400. So just keep that in mind. That's a lot of chunk of change. That's $900 extra. And you can get this bike right away. I think it'd take a couple weeks, maybe 2 max to get it. The Apex, you're not gonna get that bike until, shoot, I think October or November is when they said the next shipment's rolling out. So just keep that in mind. And also, don't always go off of what companies say. They might say that and then it could be pushed back until January or slightly after Christmas. You never know, man. So take it with a grain of salt. I don't mind this bike. If you definitely want a lighter bike from them, I did review the F2 Pro. That was a fantastic bike. It doesn't have this much torque that this bike has, but it's definitely a lot lighter. And it's pretty good, as long as you don't mind the color. The color is kind of off. I'm not a big fan of the color green on a bike. I would have liked to seen some options, but they just have one. And the seat isn't that comfortable. I've been riding for, it's about a 6.5 mile trip, and I'm not a big fan of the seat too much. And what I want to mention right now is something that we were basically trying to pay attention to the whole time, which, did I even turn this light on? I know I said I was, and we never did. Oh my God. At the end of the video, I turn it on when I charged it to 94%, and my dumbass forgot to turn it on. Anyways, I like to turn those on because it makes the overall video quality better because you have more light. So the GoPro works on better light to have less like noise and stuff. But we are down to 2 battery bars. What a huge change. I have exactly 21.7 miles on this bike from when I first got it. I only charged it when I first got it, and I've been riding it ever since without charging it. Down to 2 battery bars, but let's see if it's like any other bike. So I'm going to turn the bike off. Wait, can you turn the bike off while you're riding? Is it one of those? Oh, there it goes. Okay, it finally turned off. I was gonna say, some bikes will not allow you to turn it on or off while it's in motion. So I turned it off and on, and we're up to 3 battery bars. So that kind of makes sense. The company says you get about 40 miles of range, and if we're at 3 battery bars and we're at 2 under load, that looks like you're gonna get about 40 miles of range. And like, rule of thumb that I go off of is every amp hour you have on a bike, it's really also gonna depend on your weight, terrain, hills, all that kind of stuff. But rule of thumb I go off of is 1 mile per amp hour. So we have 40 amp hours on this bike. It is definitely faster than most e-bikes out there. I normally base this off of like a 30 mile an hour bike, like class 3 roughly. You should definitely probably get 40 miles of range, maybe slightly under that, just depending on what you ride at and your weight. I'm 165, 170 pounds, and that's pretty much what I got on mine. So take it with a grain of salt. My Super 73, if I'm not mistaken, I got 45 amp hours on there. We did a video yesterday with it. I think I did 19 miles or so, and we were just above, I think we're just above half battery. I think 74 volts, and 72 is the halfway mark. And I want to say that bike would get about 45 miles of range, and I was on average doing about like 35 on that bike. So like I said, take it with a grain of salt. I know there's going to be a lot of comments about how I think about that, but just like the electric bike, it's a 14 amp hour battery, and surprisingly, that was actually at 45%, if I'm not mistaken, when I did a 13-mile trip. So, like I said, it really depends on how heavy the bike is as well. But 40 miles an hour, I'm definitely going to recommend this bike if you're looking for something to get around town. It looks pretty cool. You got the little gas tank. This also tells you where it's at too. Green is, I think, is in the middle, and then blue is like full, and then I think red is the bottom. It's a cool bike, guys. If you guys are really thinking about picking it up, let me know. Like I said, drop a comment. I know you guys probably can't see it. It is very dark over here. But I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys are the true MVPs. And let me know if you want to do another video on it if I still have the bike. All right, I'm out of here. That never gets old until your tires look bald. Then you're going to be like, okay, I'm not doing that no more.